You are going to absolutely love this video. We are going to talk about moving to Sewickley, pros and cons. I don't usually have a guest, but since I'm not very familiar with Sewickley, we have a lifelong resident,
Laura Tamata.
She is new to the office, and she was up in New York City killing it in real estate, but because of COVID, decided to move back to the Pittsburgh area. So I'm going to rely and draw on her expertise on a lot of these pros and cons. Are you ready? Let's make it happen.
Pro number one is the walkability of Sewickley. So, Sewickley has a walkability score of 83 out of 100, which means it's super easy to run most of your errands right here in town. I grew up a couple streets down from the heart of Sewickley, and it was great as a child. We were able to walk to all of our friends' places, walk to school, walk to meet your parents, walk to the playgrounds by ourselves, etc.
So let me ask you this, have you ever been mugged?
I have not been mugged in Sewickley, no.
Have you ever been kidnapped and held for ransom?
I have not been held, well, potentially held for ransom by my sisters, but I've not been kidnapped in Sewickley.
And I think you paid them off with cinnamon rolls or baked goods, right?
I did. I would pay them off with goodies.
Alright, so Sewickley is very walkable, and there's a lot of good bakeries, baguettes, and cinnamon rolls.
Exactly, and the best part about Sewickley is that all of the schools are walkable, whether you go to the public school or you go to the private school, which is Quaker Valley Public School and Sewickley Academy for private school. Quaker Valley has 2 elementary schools that are divided up in the town, and they're walkable depending on where you live. And then there's 1 middle school right in the heart of the village, and then the high school, which is about 5 minutes out of the village.
And the schools do have buses, right? It's not
the schools all have buses. You do not have to walk. There's buses regardless, except for Sewickley Academy.
Cool. And that is pro number 1.
Pro number 2. One of the best things about Sewickley is that we have a ton of dining options, especially high-end restaurants. Sewickley Tavern is relatively new to the area. It opened in 2020, and it's an upscale American restaurant with a great cocktail menu. MAMBO Italia is your classic Italian restaurant with fantastic pastas and pizzas. The third best restaurant is VIVO Kitchen, which opened in Sewickley in 2011. It was originally in Bellevue in 2000, but moved to the area because of the high demand. VIVO Kitchen is consistently rated one of the 25 best restaurants in Pittsburgh, as well as the best new chef in the area.
Okay, so pro number 3 is there are several cafes and coffee shops, such as the one we're in now, and that is Mediterra, 424 on Walnut, Adesso, and Cafe Decimi. So they have significant food options, but there's a difference between a cafe and a restaurant, so to speak, and this is less of a restaurant environment. Come in, seat yourself, order from a menu on the wall. That may be because of COVID times. I'm not sure if it was like that before, but it has a light lunch fare, and you're going to see with the video I'm going to do of Mediterra whenever I leave here, this place is pretty awesome.
One of my favorites.
Laura recommended.
Pro number 4. So one of the great things about Sewickley is that we do not have a lot of mainstream shops, and there are a lot of locally owned, very boutique-y feel shopping. So a few of my favorites are Bellwether and LYNNE.
LYNNE, by the way, has a fantastic Instagram. I do follow them, and I recommend it.
Yeah, so both of these stores offer that boutique atmosphere, high-end clothing, unique gifts that you're not going to find anywhere else, and that perfect date night outfit or holiday outfit that you won't find at every other, well,
you don't want someone else to show up in the party in that same outfit.
Exactly. Pro number 5. So in addition to the boutique clothing stores, there are also unique home stores such as House 15143 and Gather. Both of these stores are 2 of my favorites. They offer very unique gifts, a lot of monogramming, a lot of Pittsburgh themed gifts such as 15143 coasters, Steelers hand towels, Pittsburgh maps, and things of the like.
Yeah, I'm just gotta tell you, if you're moving to Pittsburgh, it's a requirement to be a Pittsburgh Steeler fan, a Penguin fan. Pirates not so much, but you had better be a Steelers fan or the value of your house absolutely goes down, and I'll make sure of it.
Especially if you're living in Sewickley, because you'll see some of them walking around and you gotta support the brand.
Okay, so before I go into pro number 6, I want to make sure, again, you hit that subscribe button, because if you're not getting what we're trying to put out to you, you are going to move to Pittsburgh and be a complete failure. Just kidding. Hit the bell. You want to make sure you have all notifications as well. So, pro number 6 is, and I'm going to do a con to this too, it is the proximity to downtown Pittsburgh. So I live on Mount Washington, which is considered downtown Pittsburgh, and I met Laura out here for this vlog, and it was about maybe 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. So, and there isn't very much traffic anymore, but most people seem to be going away from traffic. But there's plenty of options. There's Route 65, which does have some stoplights, I would say, and then you can get on the main highway, which is 279. It's a little more out of the way, I would think.
It is. You have to get on 65 to jump on to 279.
Yeah, so it's one of those typical scenarios that you probably find in the town you're in, and that is, to get on a no red light type highway, you got to go a little bit out of your way. So I always advise using Waze, the Waze app, and right before you're ready to leave, and that'll give you an accurate depiction of what the traffic patterns are.
Pro number 7. One of my favorite things about Sewickley is that there are a ton of parks. So this is great for families, it's great for people with dogs, and it's great for people with children. 2 of my favorite parks are Triangle Park and Walker Park. I can't tell you how much time I have spent here my whole life, fishing with my dad, having picnics with my family, taking my nieces out to the park, meeting friends for games as I was growing up. So one of my favorite things about Sewickley is that there's a ton of public green space.
Very well maintained as well.
It's beautiful. Pro number 8. The schools in Sewickley are amazing. I was fortunate enough to attend both Quaker Valley and Sewickley Academy throughout my childhood here. Quaker Valley is ranked number 19 as a public school in the entire state of Pennsylvania. Everyone who attends Quaker Valley is in the Sewickley area, in the surrounding areas that are in the school district. It was a very tight-knit community and a very small graduating class for a public school.
And you can always find data on these, any school really in the United States, on greatschools.net and schooldigger, DIGGER.com, I think. That's where we get a lot of our data. And if a buyer from out of town asks us about a specific school and how they rank and some questions that might, because we don't get involved with equality issues and stuff like that, we always push people to greatschools.net or com and schooldigger.com.
Another great school in the area is Sewickley Academy, which is a private school that draws students from all over. Some of my friends in high school were even from West Virginia, believe it or not. So people drive an hour plus to go to the school. However, a large majority of the students are actually from the immediate Sewickley area. Sewickley Academy is all on one campus. It starts in pre-K and goes all through 12th grade. And the tuition ranges from below $20,000 up to slightly over $30,000 depending on which grade you are in. Students who attend Sewickley Academy tend to go to some of the top ranking colleges in the entire country and abroad. Again, the student to teacher ratio there is 1 to 7. It's very hands-on, heavy emphasis on sports and also on the arts, and just a great private school to attend in the area.
Pro number
9. So another thing that people love about Sewickley is that there are 2 really great country clubs. There's Sewickley Heights Country Club and then there's Allegheny Country Club. Both country clubs offer golf and also social membership. I've visited both many times and I can say that there's a slightly different vibe to both, but both are top tier. They're both in beautiful settings in the Heights. Both memberships require a sponsorship from a current member.
Yeah, we had one of our Remax Christmas parties, and one of them, I can't tell you which one, it was a couple years ago, I apologize, but the service was impeccable. And it was that, listen, it's that old, this is the definition of Sewickley, it's that old world charm, a lot of history, steeped in history. And actually, I listed a house and it was backed up to the golf course, and it was a big deal. It brought a lot of value being backed up to the golf course. So golf courses in Sewickley are known amongst Western Pennsylvanians.
Absolutely, and they're also a place to be seen. If you want to belong to Sewickley Heights Golf Course or Allegheny, people network there, people get together with friends for golf.
People Instagram there. You want to make sure you tag yourself.
You do. People tag their Instagram there, and it's a very community feel, and everyone who belongs to those clubs and spends time there really gets to know each other very well.
Yeah, I mean, whenever your friends ask you, hey, what are you doing tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and you say, I'm going to go golfing, your answer for the next question is always going to want to be
at Allegheny.
Somewhere in one of the Sewickley golf courses. That's where you want to tell. Even if that's not it, you want to tell them that's where you're going because you want to be seen and heard there.
Exactly. This is probably my favorite pro about Sewickley.
Number 10.
Number 10. Growing up here and then moving back, and I moved, as Brian had mentioned, to New York City, which is very anti-small town feel. You walk outside, you don't know anyone. In Sewickley, it is an extremely tight-knit community. I have 2 older siblings who are 4 and 6 years older than me, and I can say that we all share mutual friends. We all know each other's parents. Everyone really supports each other here. It is the definition of a community. There's a Facebook group called Buy Nothing Sewickley where people just post things for free that they're willing to give away and leave on their porch for members of the community. There are a ton of events such as Light Up Night and other gatherings that really bring the community together, and you feel very safe here and you feel very connected. And for people who are moving here, who aren't from here, and who don't currently have a community here, it is one of the most welcoming environments ever with tons to offer, and you will not feel left behind. Your neighbor will be the first one to knock on your door and welcome you.
Yeah, and, you know, building on that tight-knit community feel is just think about living in a planned community. If you're local, something like a Heartland Home or something like that, where you have just one community that has that feel. All of Sewickley is like that community. So tight-knit feel, a lot of people seek it. Sewickley has it. Pro number 11 is all of the homes in Sewickley, or at least 98% of them, have an amazing amount of charm and character. Check out some of these photos. Okay, so con number 1, and let me tell you, with Sewickley, it's tough to find a lot of cons, but we dug deep and we got one for you. Con number 1 is sometimes it feels like a bubble, and you know, that can also be a pro. A lot of times people want to be in a self-contained neighborhood, and Sewickley is definitely one of those. As an outsider, I would consider myself. I have never lived here. Sometimes I get the cold shoulder whenever I get some listings or I bring a buyer into the local agents because it is a bubble, and I've even heard of them saying stuff like, oh, you crossed the river? I think that means going to like the Moon Township area or something like that. So that would be a con number 1. Obviously not a major con that you have to deal with, but Sewickley is kind of like a bubble.
Con number 2. In addition to Sewickley feeling like a bubble, there's a very keeping up with the Joneses atmosphere in this town.
And that could be a positive and that could be a negative. Again, some people like that hustle. They like to, you know, that gives them the drive to work harder and invest more and work longer because they, you know, they need that bigger house. They need that car. They need that child with a better hockey outfit or whatever it may be. So that is going to be con number 2, keeping up with the Joneses.
Con number 3 is the price of real estate in Sewickley. Sewickley is the 121st most expensive neighborhood in the whole entire state of Pennsylvania. Now, Sewickley is divided into a few different subsections. There's the heart of the village, which is Sewickley proper, and then you have Edgeworth and Osborne, which are also downtown, but on either side of the village. Still very expensive. Then, if you go up the hill, you're in Sewickley Heights, where you're seeing multi-million-dollar homes, tons of land. You have a lot of athletes that live there, from the Penguins, from the Steelers, and from the Pirates, who also tend to live in the village as well. In general, though, Sewickley and its surrounding neighborhoods are more expensive than most areas in the city of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and that is one of the draws. I've represented a couple buyers and sellers to Sewickley, is the fact that, you know, you're only about 15 minutes from downtown. I mean, depending on a good day, maybe 10 minutes. So you can go into your brick and mortar job that you're probably doing once a week nowadays, and you can have a palatial estate out here in Sewickley. So I made it sound like a pro, but that is really a con. Con number 3.
Con number 4. As we mentioned, there are a few areas right outside the heart of the village of Sewickley. The con is that if you want to be in the heart of the village, it is very hard to find your own private parking, a driveway and a garage, and also a large yard. So your alternative is to go to Edgeworth or Osborne, or spend a bit more and go up to the Heights. But if you want to be right in the heart of the village where all of the shops and all of the restaurants are, it's very hard to find private parking.
And that's pretty much, that runs parallel with most any type of city living. I mean, they're going to try to pack in businesses. They don't care about you trying to park. So put on your walking shoes, come to Sewickley. All right, so con number 5 is, it's kind of a minor thing, and I've found this all across, not just Sewickley, all across the Pennsylvania area, and that is the closer you are to a main thoroughfare, so that would be Route 65 with Sewickley, which is your main artery into the city of Pittsburgh. You know, the closer that backyard backs up to that, the lower the value. So a con would be, you know, if you're buying a property, it might be a little less valuable because it's, you know, a little more dangerous or a little bit more noise because you're backed up to 65. Okay, so con number 6 is, and you probably already guessed this by one of our previous cons, if you have high-priced real estate, you have high taxes. So for those of you that really give a crap or even know what mills is, in Sewickley it's 6.25. So, but you know, with that it comes some positives, and that is Beautiful landscape, beautiful downtown, low crime. She's never been mugged yet, so we're gonna keep those mills high.
Fingers crossed.
All right, as we're ripping through this, I hope you're liking it. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Bing, 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 bing. Tap the bell and hit all notifications, and we're getting our next con.
Con number 7 is if you're looking for new development in Sewickley, it's hard to find. As Brian mentioned earlier, most of the homes here have very unique charm and they're very beautiful. However, there are 2 projects in town, 400 and 420 Centennial by Zamias Properties, that offer new construction, beautiful condominium living. So there is an option to buy condo in Sewickley. However, if you're looking for that new construction, modern home, high rise, this is not the place for you. Con number 8. If you are looking for something like Shadyside, where you are going to go downtown and find a Gap, a Sephora, an Apple store, Sewickley is not for you. We do not offer much mainstream shopping. The most mainstream stores that you're going to get here are some banks and a Starbucks. So if you're looking for mainstream stores that you would find in a mall, this is not the place for you. So con number 9 is that there's not a whole lot of options for inexpensive dining in the area. As we mentioned earlier, there are some great restaurants in the area that are more high-end. However, on the con side, the more inexpensive options are more of a bar feel. There's Sidelines, there's Sharp Edge Bistro, and there's Pizza Roma, all which are really fun. Great bar scene, great to watch a sports game, but if you're looking for an inexpensive family dinner, probably not the best options.